for coming out. I got my guy Jeraud from Jeraud Marketing here today. He's going to discuss and show us how to run social media ads on Instagram, Facebook, and just try to help us expand our business. I met Jeraud at a networking event a couple of weeks ago. He was mentioning, he's doing a class somewhere else. I said, tell me more. I was super intrigued. And, we do run Facebook ads as a team, and what is the platform that Facebook uses and Meta that Meta uses is not the most user friendly in my opinion. So it's surprising because there's so many user friendly things out there nowadays, but their platform is confusing, for lack of a better term. But I appreciate Jeraud coming out to come out and teach us this, this phenomenon of running Facebook ads. We see them all the time. They come. You're scrolling through Instagram, Facebook, and you see all these, random whatever that the algorithm thinks that you want to see. And he's going to kind of show us how to customize your algorithm or customize your ad to whatever algorithm that you're trying to, the people that you're trying to get to or expand your reach. So that was a whole big thing to bring him in to teach us how to expand our clientele and just meet more people. So thank you very much, Jeraud, for coming. My name is Craig Barry with American Financial Network. I did not introduce myself, but we do all types of home loans, conventional, FHA, VA, lots of non-QM for you self-employed borrowers out there and investors. So for all the agents that's online and in the room, we can help you with all of those items at American Financial Network. And then our host, Thomasina, here at Coastal Town. So thank you so much for hosting this event for us.
So for the ones online, I'm going to monitor the chat. Just put any of your questions, no matter how big or small, into the chat. I'll read them to Jeraud. That way he can see know what you guys are writing without having to look every 2 seconds. But just put your questions in there. I'll read them out and we'll get them answered. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Jeraud, you got the mic. Appreciate it. Thank you.
So first of all, give a shout out to my guy, Captain Mortgage. I like his name, but Captain Mortgage sounds even cooler than his first name. But yeah, like you said, we met at a networking event. DJ's here. We met him at the same networking event, and you don't hit it off with everyone, but he's a really cool guy. Obviously, you guys like him, so I like him as well. So we've been talking a lot, and it's been pretty cool connecting with him. And Thomasina, thank you for letting me use your place. You have literally everything here. So some of the stuff I talk about, there is no excuses. It's just you're either going to do it or you're not going to do it. And the type of guy is going to call you out. Unless you're soft, then I probably won't push it too long. But then I'll probably still say something anyway. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started. And like we said, we're going to talk about Facebook ads. But there's a big red X over the Facebook ads. And the reason why is because I've been working with companies. I've been doing this since about 2016, running paid ads on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And one problem that I always see stands in the way of getting more leads and making more money. And I want to make sure I cover that first, and then we'll talk about the ads. So everybody cool with that? Yeah, we need some foundations and some systems and things like that. So that's why I put that up there. A lot of people are like, why is the X there? Because we got to do something first. All right. So these slides are going to go fast. If you want to take a picture and I move too fast online too, just let me know and I can go back. If you want some more explanation, let me know. It's meant to be interactive. I can literally give you this presentation and walk you how to build through building an ad without having a screen up. So I don't need to stick to this presentation. If you have a question, let's go to it, because the people who showed up online and the people in this room, you guys are the most important people right now. So if it's something that can help you, let's dive deeper into that. All right. Any questions so far? No? All right.
So they can hear them online. Good.
Yeah, we're good.
All right, cool. All right. So let's keep going. So, click this way. Oh, stop working on. Okay.
If it does it again, just say, so save time, just click on it like this. So
Okay.
it'll recognize itself again. You're on the dollars.
Okay. So yeah, we're on the dollar. So I like this picture because when people start running ads, this is what it kind of looks like to me. A lot of times they don't have these systems in place. And what happens is they're losing money, right? This is even for people who aren't running ads. There's holes in your bucket, and I'm going to show you a bucket here. What's going on, man? I'm going to show you this, but a lot of times people are just throwing money down the drain. It kills me to no end when I'm helping people with their marketing. They're getting leads and they're not selling. And part of the reason they're not selling, I'm gonna touch on that problem, but at the end of the day, when you spend money, if someone gives you the information, this is your money. So the lack of, I don't know, discipline and dedication to follow up with those leads, it's frustrating as a marketer. But I realize it's an epidemic. A lot of people do this. So my job was like, how do I figure this out and solve this to people and make it a little bit easier for them? And at the same time, give them the tools to fix it. All right, so yeah, this is essentially what it looks like to me. So when I say you have holes in your bucket, that means that your system just has gaps in it. So when people reach out to you, and which we'll get into a little bit more, what happens is people reach out and you don't get back to them right away. So I like to make this part a little bit interactive. If I can get at least 2 or 3 hands, if someone was to call you right now and you missed the call, how long does it typically take you to get back to them? That's what I was looking for, but most people don't have that. So again, she has everything, y'all. So, what about you?
Same thing, have a text message that goes out and I will get back to you within an hour.
Awesome.
Usually if it's a lead coming in, I would leave the spouse to go take it.
I like that. So yeah, if anybody sees someone get up, yeah, and that's how it should be.
They're gonna get one lead, but you missed the other important stuff.
Teamwork, and it's being recorded, but speed to lead is right. So even if, like, again, if you're not even running advertising right now, if people are reaching out to you on Facebook, Instagram, text messaging, your website, and you're not getting back to them right away, because what happens is most people are, it's usually a day, if not days, when they get back. I'll show you why that's effective and why you're losing business. So keep doing that. So once we fix that problem, then I can show you how to turn on the faucet with Facebook ads, but I'm gonna breeze through this because I really want it to be interactive. So again, if you have some questions, let me know. But this whole thing right now is how to generate more sales per month on autopilot without spending money on ads, right? Without going on a hiring spree, because a lot of times people need help in order to follow up with all these leads, right? Especially if you have like a lot of leads coming in, it's hard for one person to do, and without needing to know a whole bunch of tech wizardry. All right, so just a little bit about me. I've worked with, I don't know, this whole thing with the Air Force is pretty cool. Like that up there, this Premier Company, that's like a 50-person franchise that I work with. Susan G. Komen, I'm pretty sure you're all familiar with them. UFC, here San Diego is a big outfit in California, and we worked with many more people. Since I've been doing this, I've helped people make about $50 million in revenue across the world. Worked in Africa, Australia, Slovenia. I can't remember all the other countries, and of course the US. Not so much here in Hampton Roads. I've worked with a few people, but it just seems that all my clients tend to be somewhere else. And at the same time, I've met so many people here. You guys have great products and services, and you're great people. I want to help more people here locally. I might have to give up on Splitter here. Yeah, it keeps going. That's cool. I'll stay close. So what I was basically getting at here is speed to lead. This has always been like the biggest problem in business forever. And this goes back to, this goes back hundreds of years. Who can get to the lead the fastest? Honestly, who can pay the most to get the lead? And then who can get to it the fastest? Especially in this day and age of being an Amazon, you guys can order something right now and it could literally be to you within the day, if not the next day. So people, like when you're dealing with consumers, you all are technically business owners, right? Even if you're realtors, when you're dealing with consumers, they want things and they want it now. So if they're not able to get a hold of you, that definitely changes the way they feel about you. If not, like in the moment, they're just gonna go find somebody else unless they've already been dealing with you. All right, and the smaller the business, the bigger the problem. So if you're a solopreneur and you're a one-man or woman show, then the problem's even bigger. And what usually happens is you don't tend to get a lot more traffic coming in because you can't handle it. So you're stuck in this rhythm of not doing a little bit, but not doing enough. And it's hard to break through until you put some systems in place. Any questions so far? You guys with me? And gals? I don't like to just say guys all the time. All right, so race against time. So we're moving through here. So the business that answers the phone 80% of the time will get the business most of the time, right? And I learned that when I started in real estate investing. I guess a quick story about me. I used to work at Newport Shipbuilding, and I was on the way to work one day and got hit by a 18-wheeler truck. That's how I got into marketing. I couldn't go back to work. I couldn't do any of those things. So the first thing I tried to do was real estate investing. And they were the first people that told me that marketing was a huge thing. And I think in real estate, like obviously your leader, she's into marketing. I could see it just from the moment I step in, but a lot of times realtors typically don't market outside of, person to person, which I would say word of mouth is still the strongest kind of referral. But the thing is, it's inconsistent and it's unpredictable. And it requires you to go here, there, and everywhere. But once you get it rolling, it's great, but it's still inconsistent and predictable versus when you spend money on advertising, you can make that consistent and predictable. So truth is, most businesses miss calls and take days to respond to inquiries. You all are actually a better group. If anybody's online, if you guys want to participate, but most people don't get back right away. My thing is, do you get back within 60 seconds or less? And of course, if you have the automation, then you guys are good, but most people don't have that. So if someone was to call, let's just say you, what's your name? Nikita. If someone was to call you right now, let's say all of us try to call you in this room, you're gonna miss at least one of these calls. Right? So the fact that you have that text back is pretty good. But what happens is when most of these people are missing calls, I mean, all these things are true, negative first impressions, whatever, lost referrals. But the biggest thing is whether you're spending money on marketing or not, you're missing opportunities. So again, this is without even running ads. Is there's a hole in your bucket? So who doesn't have this automatic text message thing go out? Okay.
I just have a preloaded, like, I mean, you've seen it before.
Yeah.
But if I'm on the phone with anybody and I can't answer that, it says, I'm currently on the phone, I'll call you right back. You know, it says in the voicemail, and that seems to, I tell my client, I do that to not only tell you that I'm gonna call you back, then I've acknowledged your call, but it's also my reminder, because I'd say 75% of the time, the person texts back like, thank you, or okay, or whatever. So it's like my personal follow-up if I'm not at my desk to like take a note, call John Smith back or.
Okay.
So it's definitely beneficial if you, I know all of us have phones where you can do a preloaded text message, so if you don't have an automated fancy thing like Thomasina does, or like Nikki and Nish, then do that. It literally will save you time and energy and effort.
And the thing I like about it, whether you're automated or not, automation just makes it automatic, right? That's the whole point. Is if someone was calling you for the first time and that happened, before I pick up the phone to call another realtor or another broker, if I get that message, it at least slows me down. Doesn't mean I'm not going to call that next person, but it at least stops me in my tracks for a second, lets me think, am I going to wait for this person to get back to me, or am I going to keep dialing? If their house is on fire, not literally, but like my AC went out a few weeks ago, if you didn't answer the phone, I wasn't, the message came back, it would slow me down, but it needed it fixed. It was in the heat of summer. So it does depend on their situation, right? So truth is, most of you guys are sitting on the gold mine and you don't even know it, right? So again, this is all before we start getting into actually running the ads. So anybody familiar with the law of diminishing returns? All right, simply put, the longer you take to respond or do anything, the less chance you have to convert that lead. So we're gonna get into some fun stuff here. So these are numbers that I got that are sourced. Maybe I'll start putting the source up there, but 60 seconds or less. If you respond within that amount of time, you're 900 times more likely to start that conversation versus not, right? So automation, of course, you're responding right away, but who doesn't have any kind of automation right now? Oh, so everybody has at least some kind of automation going on? Okay. Okay, okay. Are you guys part of this office?
One is.
Okay. Get with your girl. She'll get you straight. She'll get you straight. But 60 seconds or less, more likely to start a conversation. 5 minutes or less, 21 times more likely to qualify your leads. 60 minutes, if you wait, it drops by 10x. Then if you talk about a day, which in a lot of rooms I go into, it's a day, especially with realtors. So that's a shout out to you as a leader. Like, you got your people. But 24 hours, it's 60 times harder. So to me, like, let's say I was running your marketing, which I'm not, and I'm not going to. If I was, though, and you guys were getting a bunch of leads and you're telling me the leads aren't good, I'm going to ask you, where are we at here? Because I'm going to automatically set up automation for you, or I'm going to teach you how to set that up. But still, even with automation, there needs to be some actual outreach to that person. A conversation needs to be had. And a lot of times it's here. It's either here or it's days. So like, I had a client a few months ago, he's like, oh, the leads aren't good. And I'm like, well, I see that you're not getting back to them right away. So have you reached out to them 60 times yet? He's like, you crazy? I'm like, no, that's what the number said. So until you do that, don't tell me that the leads aren't good, because they could very well not be good. But if, and I'm going to go into this next thing, let's see, because honestly, the conversations are where the money is, right? But I have a little chart. The contact rate. So Contact rate is how many leads you actually get a hold of out of the ones that you got. And obviously, if you don't have automation, you don't have AI, or you don't have a conversation with these people, then that number drops. And then if you know, and I have some numbers up here. So let's just say your average close rate is 50%. Some of you guys could be higher, some of you could be lower, but for this example, let's stick there. All right, so contact rate. So let's say that we got 20 leads. We turn on a campaign tomorrow, we get 20 of them. If you only get a hold of 6, that's a 30% contact rate. And if you close half, that's 3 sales. But again, what if we would have got hold of more than that 20? That's where the automation comes in. That's where the AI comes in. That's where the manual outreach comes in. But you can't always manually outreach. I know realtors usually work harder than everybody else and will stay up late and answer calls, but that's not the truth for most people. And even then, you got to sleep at some point in time. It's hard to be extremely perfect, even when we try. So in the second example, if we just got a hold of 4 more because we're at a contact rate of 50%, that puts us at 5 sales, right? So there's a gap, and maybe I would like to be able to draw this, but because we have the Zoom in place, I can't really do it. But there's a gap between getting a lead and getting in contact with them and having a conversation, and most people don't focus there. Same thing for 100 leads. I mean, to get 100 leads, depending on how much we're spending, could easily take a few weeks. It could take a month. I'm running with a realtor, the Hero San Diego guy. We're working a campaign right now. He's getting 100 to 150 leads a month for military to show in his webinar so he can do VA benefits. So to get that in a month is not hard. But if we only get a hold of 50% of them, that's 25 sales, which is good. But then again, if we can put systems in place, which him and I are doing right now to get a hold of 75%, then that definitely brings up the sales percentage. And I know most of you all in the room are doing real estate, so your timeline and your sales cycle is a little bit different from other folks. What would you all say your average sales is from the time you make contact with someone? Like months?
Time to close?
Yeah, like I say I want a house today. On average, how long does it take you? 3, 6?
I say 45 days.
30, 45 days. So
Ready.
As realtors, we have to see what bucket, sometimes we'll get a call and they're 6 months out.
Yeah.
So then we need
Yeah,
to
right
have,
then it's about 30 to 45.
Yeah. depends on, then we have to classify them.
okay. So when the people aren't ready, what's your nurture like? Is it all physical? I mean, not physical, but manual. Is it all manual? I meant manual. Is it all manual? Is there automation? So tell me, like, if I fall in your 6-month bucket, because when I bought my house, because of all that stuff that happened at the shipyard, I literally went into foreclosure, bankruptcy. So I was not a good fit, even though I wanted to buy a house. It took me a few years to get my credit almost at 800 and all that stuff. So I would have been 6 months plus. So you put me in that bucket, what happens?
We definitely work in progress, but we've gotten a lot better. So the first week, we try to contact them almost every day, every other day by text. So that way we get a hold of them. And then once a month, they'll be getting an email from us and a call. And then we also do events. So that way we're just not calling them for like, hey, are you buying now? But we're inviting them or giving them some information about something. So I would say we're touching them at least once a month.
All right. Do you have it set up here? You doing
Yeah.
it manually or you
No,
automated?
It is automated, but it's not that smooth as we would like it.
Well, you have something.
Yeah, it's
I mean,
working.
A lot of people don't have anything, so I don't want you to think it's not enough. As you have something in place, you can always improve it. And if you don't, it only takes one step at a time to put something in place to make it better, right? So that's any questions on this? Does that contact rate make sense? Honestly. Over the years, I've never liked MailChimp, but it does work. Never liked MailChimp. I don't know why, but ConvertKit is a good one. Aweber, Drip is a good one. Okay, Active Campaign, Master Marketing System, that's mine. So I said mine's last, but yeah. ConvertKit, MailChimp. It is easy to use, I just don't like it. Aweber, Active Campaign, Drip, and Master Marketing Systems. So let's keep going. But yeah, you guys see that. So it's a little bit different for your business, but a lot of times, man, this is where, when I help them keep raising this percentage here, this is where they have the biggest explosion in their sales. Right? Because even if we raise your close rate, that's great. But if you're not getting a hold of many, you're still only closing whatever that is. We just need more opportunities. I'd rather close less and have more opportunities to close than not have those opportunities at all. And this is what I've been focusing on helping people with, because again, running ads, that part's easy. I gotta set the foundation on what we need to do. Right? Lifetime value. So for you all selling houses, what would you say on average each client is worth for you lifetime? Or even one transaction, let's start there.
10,000 one-time transaction
And at
and the
least,
referrals,
three referrals.
yeah.
Okay, so we'll go with about 50,000. Thanks, sir. So we'll go with 50,000, right? So each time we don't get back to these people right away, it's costing you $50,000 or more, right?
Even if you went, even if you want. Right? And then God has a flip, right? Let's just say $6,000, a bare minimum. $6,000 every time you don't respond, not just not respond, but even respond from
Exactly,
$6,000 you just let walk out the.
exactly. She gets it. That's why she has the systems in place, right? And again, you guys have those systems, but it's extremely important to have those things in place. And it makes it hard for whether you're doing it as a marketer, marketing for yourself, because technically we're all in the business of marketing, even though you are in real estate or whatever business, you're technically marketers first, because if no one knows, then no one cares, right? So you have to market yourself first, and then the customer service and all those things come out. So each person is worth tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars. So we already said that there, and you guys said about 3 to 4 referrals. And then if you do right by those, then those referrals, then those referrals, and those referrals, right? And a lot of times, because they're referrals, people will give you an extra chance versus someone who didn't know you and found you on their own. They're less likely to give you that many breaks, right? All right, so for the ones who don't have their systems for dialed in, are you ready to take this a little bit more seriously? Right? Exactly. So is anybody running any ads right now? Boosting, that counts? I know you are. You are? Okay. Who you talking?
We did about 2 years ago, but nothing. Really done.
It was like the bucket money going in the toilet.
Okay. How much did you spend?
It wasn't much, max maybe about $200.
Okay. Okay. Well, the tricky thing about ads is you feel like you're dumping money in the toilet until it works. And then once it works, you can print money, right? Because in real estate, I've had some really good wins, but I just did a mastermind in Orlando. I just got back from that. And the guy that hosted the mastermind, he brought me to talk marketing, and we were doing a 3-to-1 every time we spent money. We'd help him make millions of dollars selling a course without ever answering the phone. And at some point, some weeks, I'd say for a month or two at a time, we could get them $20 for every dollar we spent. And in COVID, we ramped it all the way up for them, right? So sometimes you just haven't spent enough yet, but I can understand, like, because even when I first started, I wanted to spend money. I didn't have money, but I was scared to spend the money because what if it didn't work? But then that's how I got into this rabbit hole of figuring this thing out and doing it for people, because I needed it to work. And the best way to make it work was to find people that would trust me, let them do the work. I got them results. I got paid, and then I was able to fix the credit and provide for my 2 kids because it was a rough time. But I went all in on learning that. And one thing I realized too is sometimes you just don't spend enough money, but if you don't know what to do next, then it's like, maybe I won't keep doing this. You haven't shut the door all the way. But if you're focused on other things, you can lose a lot of money in ads, right? But that's why you want to learn from the good people. So who are you targeting right now? How much do you spend?
Next door and Facebook.
Okay.
Ad. Post pretty much every day or two.
Okay.
Just keep posting it out there.
How do you like the next door? Because one of my guys asked me about that. I just started looking into it.
It'll give me the average people that I reach is anywhere from 5 to 7 million people.
Oh, nice. And as far as your Facebook ads, how long you been doing that?
Since I've been in the business, so probably 9 years,
Okay.
and I pulled a few leads out of there. And so,
Okay. So you're like a unicorn because most guys aren't running ads. Like that. I can see it, but thing in the shirt too. I I peeped that when I walked in. So let's keep going. Anybody else running ads besides Captain Mortgage? You are, so both of you?
Yeah, post on Facebook. They, you know, it'll tell you through our CRM, hey, so we'll get you 2,500 extra eyes on your property and the back end supposedly hadn't happened, but we're in the middle of a campaign, but it's supposed to get you like X amount of leads in your database. Which is really, I mean, so it's, you know, it's advertising so that my listing knows that I'm doing something extra for them besides just putting it on the MLS. And then for me, it's kind of like an open house, right? Like open houses can sell houses there, they're there to get you leads.
Exactly.
So
And isn't it crazy how 2,500 eyeballs doesn't really cost you that much, right?
60 bucks.
60? I might need to look at your stuff. That's a lot for 2,500. Are you doing lead ads?
Yeah.
Okay, if you're doing lead ads, then I can see that.
Well, property ads, like property boost that property.
If you're just boosting and you're not collecting people, are you collecting people's information on the back end?
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
So if they see it, if they want more information, they gotta type in their info, bam, right to my CRM.
Is the lead form on Facebook, then it goes to your CRM?
Use it.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's in the
I'm-
CRM.
I just started doing it, I have a lot.
To Facebook that interacted with folks, so they probably has a lead form for that CRM connecting with you. You know what I'm talking about, to have the
I
action
do.
behind the scenes. So he's probably doing it through that CRM, going through, Facebook's doing it, feeding it through with the form that they agreed upon.
I have this,
Probably what she said, I hit 3 buttons and I
Okay.
just put it in my card. And stuff like that.
yeah, Facebook's more than 3 buttons, so,
Yeah.
okay. I wouldn't mind taking a look at it, because in 5 minutes I could tell you, because if you're using the lead form on Facebook, totally different situation. That 2,500 might cost you 60, but if you're using it through your CRM, then I could probably double how many people get in front of just by showing you like 1 or 2 things for that same money.
Easier one, easier.
We shall see. We shall see, but literally, it doesn't take a lot of time. It doesn't, and in all honesty, if enough people, have questions and want to see more, I will do, we can figure out a time to do a 30-minute Zoom. My goal really isn't to sell you guys, like for even the people on here, I honestly don't work with realtors except for my guy out in California. I just don't, it never really worked out for me. There's a small percentage, and I'm not asking you in the room to say who you are. There's a small percentage that actually really make money, and the rest are just kind of trying to make it happen. And to get into that, I guess it's probably like 5 to 10% are actually really doing it, and everybody else is wanting to do it, right? Would you say? 4%? 3? Yeah, it's 90-73.
20% of the realtors do 80%.
Yeah, so yeah. But I'm still here, right? Like, part of the reason is because one, I really like this guy, and I think realtors are great people.
Cover, man.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Something you paid for, now that if you post on social media to boost yourself, raise your hand. Wait, keep it up, keep it up, keep it up.
Keep the hands up.
And I'm just saying, 2 to 3 times a week, not daily, 2 to 3 times a week, make your calls, whether it be for follow-up or to have, prospecting, whatever you want to call it.
That's real.
You make, keep your hand raised, put your hand down, if you don't do it 2 to 3 times a week. All right, if you get to it,
I like this example.
If you boost any ad, I don't care what the dollar amount is, if you boost any ad on a monthly basis, once a month, keep your arm raised.
I thought you were in the
Hey,
game.
look,
I thought he was in the game.
once a month, look, it could have been $5, Rod. It could have only been $5. Not a dang soul got their hand raised. There's nothing wrong with y'all. It is fully our industry.
It's the industry. Yeah, no one has their hand raised. No one has their hand raised. Yeah.
Now, I didn't even get to, I was getting ready to ask, did you send out motions, did you door knock, did you do an open house? I mean, I couldn't even get there because I only asked for a little bit of money once a month.
Great example. And like you said, it's the industry. Again, it's not the people. Yeah, and that's. Yeah. You can fix that problem pretty easy. Yeah. It's like, again, I go into a lot of rooms. I've probably done a few presentations at real estate offices over the past year because most of my business, 95% of the money I've made has been outside the area. But I really do like the people who live here. I talk to a lot of folks and I'm like, all right, let me just start doing some more things like this. I'll be honest, and if someone from the other presentations is here, I'm sorry, but this has probably been the most advanced group yet. As a whole, from the leader on down, right? Because even though some of you all aren't doing everything I said, the fact that some of these things are happening is great. And the fact that you have that level of accountability is great. So that's why I was kind of happy that I got introduced to real estate investing first, because without marketing, they let you know right out the gate that you have to market, not just word of mouth. They don't even focus on word of mouth. I mean, they'll do a networking event. Their whole thing is all these different things, like you said, door knocking, mailers, running ads, obviously referrals, showing up here, showing up there. So that was like my first taste of marketing. I never thought I was going to be a marketer. I showed up to that place on crutches, fresh off of surgery, saying, well, I can't go to work, so I'm not going to go back. And they just blew me away with all that stuff. And I got into marketing doing that. Then I got into network marketing, which you guys, the three to get the three to get the three. And I was hustling, door knocking, doing all these things. But then some guys who were big in internet marketing came in and said, man, you're like the hardest working guy in the world. And I'm like, you guys don't know what, I'm trying to do out here, but I wasn't making any money. So what if you just showed ads to people that already want what you have? How do you do that? They started showing me that, my second introduction into marketing. And then I realized after that company went down, which have a lot of network marketing companies, I said, well, hey, if I can get people customers, I would never be out of business. And that's when I went all in on that. And then there was a course that I bought, which if anybody's interested in the course, I'll give it to anyone who's in here for free. It's like $400. I sell it all the time, but I have a course that'll walk you through how to do it step by step. So if you want that, my information will be up here. But in order to get in my first course, I didn't have anything. So I literally sold my car to join this program so I can learn how to do what I'm teaching you guys to do right now. Right. So it's extremely, extremely important. And even when I didn't have money, if I just knew that all I needed was $1 to spend, I could spend $1 on an ad every day. I can get in front of way more people than I could if I'm out here networking. Which networking, of course, you run into the right people like I ran into him. It builds a comparison to what you're spending on ads. But at the same time, I'm not running into people like him or DJ all the time, just being honest. Cool people, but at the same time, not everybody I want to talk to after I leave. And you guys feel that too, so I can keep it real. From a real estate standpoint, if they want to sell a house, that's one thing, but networking with somebody else is totally different, right? So let's keep moving. So how do we fix the holes in the bucket? Well, I know what it says over there, and even it doesn't matter. For the most part, AI, right? Automation, which we already talked about, in AI. AI is leveling the playing field, right? So a lot of times before, it was only available to like these super huge companies that had the budget. But of course, ChatGPT is the one that most people know about, and other ones that are coming along. It has made it accessible to people like us. Like you can use ChatGPT for free. I pay for mine $20 a month because there is a difference in the 3.5 versus the 4. But if you're low on cash, don't do it. I was in that situation before, and believe me, I got everything as free as I could. And at the same time, I did make sure the first thing I could do, I sold the car, was invest in myself to get coaching, because it is scary out here running ads. And if you don't know what to do next when it doesn't work, because it doesn't always work, you'll either stop or you'll keep spending money the wrong way. And sometimes people don't think about the cost of inaction. If you're not taking action, that costs you too. Just because it's not coming out of your pocket, you're limiting yourself, right? And I don't think anybody should be limiting themselves. A lot of this, business and life is really just mindset. And I'm still working on that. I still have coaches. So don't be afraid to invest in yourself, right? And even then, Thomasine, are you coaching? Seems like you do. Yeah, so yeah. Yeah, for sure. Well, for the people who aren't with her, you won't get coached, but the people who are with her, use her as a resource. Because at the end of the day, like I have coaches, but if I don't go to the coach, I mean, they'll help me, but they're gonna help the people who go to them the most, right? I mean, then eventually, before you even go to, like, what would Thomasina do? Right? And even though sometimes you can answer the question, don't be afraid to ask her because she might give you a different perspective, right? So AIs versus humans. We'll keep this quick. You guys know if you wanted to get some extra help with setting your stuff up, they take breaks, they want vacations. It's always been weird how people who smoke cigarettes, and if you do, that's cool. I'm not against it, but you guys get extra breaks versus people who don't. That always pissed me off. I never understood it, but breaks, vacations, talking back, personnel issues versus if you're working with AI, it just works 24/7, doesn't need breaks or vacations, will never get all sick. And I like mine to talk back. So I'm working on programming my bot to talk a little bit more edgy. I'm in marketing, so we can do a little bit more than you guys might be able to do with talking to people in real estate, especially if your customers not really open to that. So you know who you're dealing with. All right. So to me, this is what having AI working with AI signifies. This is you / me / everyone in the middle. But when you have AI working for you, not just ChatGPT, there's other things. It's like you go from one person to an army, and they'll never know the difference. And this picture actually was made with Midjourney AI. I told it to make something, and it came up with this, and I was like, "That's great. I can show you guys how to use that too." And then this is them actually at work. So we're about to test this theory. This is what I've been waiting to get to anyway. But when you guys start, I'm going to have you guys send a message to me. And this is what it looks like in the background. If we created a picture, and I had AI create this too, they're going to be handling all these messages. And I'm actually excited because I'm going to see if you guys are going to break the system. I hope you do so I can fix it. But there's a good chance that every one of you will get talked to simultaneously, and the people online too. So let's see. Let's try it out. Like I said, email stuff, master marketing systems, that's my thing. Essentially, you can email, you can text, you can have automation, we can have an AI assistant in there. So let's test it out. So can everyone see the number on the screen? So this is the first test. I want everyone to call it, let it ring 3 times, and then hang up. And Thomasina kind of took some of the wind out my sails because she's set up with this automatic follow-up situation, but most people are never. No, you can do, no, I still want you to do it. Oh, you got the Zoom on yours? Okay. So I'm damn sure missing calls because I'm not going to answer it. Then look at all these phones that are up right now. I wish I could kind of pan the room. Do we have any messages in the chat?
3 times on.
Okay, cool. So you should be getting a text here in a second. Huh?
Yeah,
Ashley?
I haven't met Ashley
Oh, she's just my AI bot.
yet.
But to an extent, I'm working on programmers so you all would never know the difference of whether it was a person or not. Works 24/7, 365, and I tell her what to do. So if you guys click the link, you don't have to watch the video that's there. But essentially, if I miss a call and someone calls that work number, which is I'm about to get it reprinted on my cards, this is what they'll get. Then they'll get a video. That video right there is just me kind of doing an explanation at another event like this. And it was a cool set of people, but again, it was as advanced as you are as a whole. Just saying, right? So that's the first thing is I send that back so that they know that, hey, he's busy, but he'll get back to me. Second thing I want you to do is I want you to text wait list that number. Because now y'all going to talk to Ashley. Or it might be Tammy now. I got 2 bots in there. Got who's who. And online too, if you're with us, text waitlist. And then after this, we'll get into the ads. Yeah, so this is me letting you know it's a bot, but because it's like a demonstration, I wouldn't have that. And like when I'm running my ads, that message wouldn't be in there as far as this is a bot. So this is just more demonstration. But you guys don't have to schedule a time, but she's gonna give me some times, like, just be, at least 2 messages, be difficult. No, that doesn't work, Ashley. And then tell her you don't want to schedule, right? So it's, there's multiple people getting messages right now, right? Yeah, so the system's working, that's great. But that's the power of AI, because obviously I'm standing right here, and if I had one person, there's no way they could handle that. But if we go backwards, this is what's going on, right? All right, so. Anyway, you guys can keep playing with Ashley. One guy though, he was asking her, did she want, what was her favorite pizza? Did she like flowers? And I was just like, I'm gonna have to cut you off. Because at the end of the day, messages cost fractions of a penny, which is cool. It's not a lot, but at the same time, it was just like, it was almost like he was up late and needed something to do. And I was like, if you want one, let's talk. But if not, man, like, you got to talk to a real person. Not Ashley here. She's not real.
So you pay per method?
Yeah, it's like fractions of a penny. Oh, I mean, I'm not worried about it now. Like, if you want to keep trying it out, cool. I mean, the value's created after the experience. Oh, I mean, no, I'm saying she might not answer that question because I haven't.
Hey. You already took flowers and candy. We offer a range of marketing services for real estate, including lead generation, social media advertising, email marketing, and website design. Is there anything specifically you are in? Wow.
But yeah, I mean, but that's the power of AI, like literally having that work for all these people right now, plus whoever was online. And what's crazy is there's an app that comes with mine. So right now I got like all these notifications on my app, and I'm obviously not going to check them because I know what you want, but that's just for the test.
What system is it?
It's called Master Marketing System.
That's the one that we put in there, though, right?
Mhm.
Okay.
And the
Let
cool,
them know it's in the chat.
okay. Yeah, so in the chat, Master Marketing Systems, right? That's the one that I've been working on and creating. Another thing that's pretty cool about it, and I don't have it set up for my Facebook and Instagram because we've been testing this out with clients. So my team's been more focused on getting the clients right versus us. But essentially, if someone Facebook message you, you could have Ashley in there. If someone Instagrammed you, one opportunity that's hugely missed by everyone is Google My Business. People get Google My Business messages, but they don't even know where they go. And she can answer those questions. If you have a website, we can put a chat widget up there. She can answer those questions in real time. So it almost takes all your inboxes and put them in one place. So for the people who have Facebook and Instagram messaging, how long does it typically take you to get back to those messages? Because those are in 2 different spots.
I have because I can't keep up with it.
Okay.
Admin, but yeah, because of that. But if I had an Ashley, I give her flowers and her.
She's trying to steal you, Ashley. But yeah, so that's pretty cool about that. So if anyone's interested in that, we can talk about that. But now that we have the basics down, and this is the problems that I've been looking to solve because I work with solopreneurs, work with big companies, and work with people in between. And again, this is my way of taking that situation out of their hands because technically I'm all about taking responsibility. So if something's not working, even though you spent the money with me, I brought you this far. It's technically your fault, but I'm taking responsibility. How can I fix this so I can take that out of their hands so that we can continue to win? Because it's not a real estate thing, but in the industry, running ads, that is an epidemic. But when it comes to follow-up overall, it's like, I've worked in so many different industries. It's like a thing. Outside of the guys I sold courses with, they didn't need to do any of that. It was just like, see it, buy it, good. I mean, that's the holy grail. Most people aren't like that.
So it gave me 2 separate times of availability. Would you link this to like a calendar so it knows when you're available?
Yeah, so that's hooked up to my Google Calendar. So in the system, I can load my Google Calendar into it, and then it basically creates a calendar in there and pulls from that calendar. So
There's a lot of pressure for me to keep that updated.
hey, he knows I don't mess around with the calendar, neither does he. If it's not in the calendar, it's not real. I have to check that. I'm pretty sure that it can. Yeah, but you don't want to have it. Okay, not surprised. Not surprised. I set mine up every Sunday for the week. Maybe I need to set my game.
Right now, like now I need to add that in the mix of what I'm to get an AI.
Yeah. in all honesty, where you're at right now, I mean, obviously you wouldn't be here if you're not looking to. Again, you're like top percent. I mean, business owners, period. I speak to a lot of people. They just don't have it. And again, you don't know what you don't know, because I didn't know any of this stuff until I knew it, or until I started getting results for people. And then we could have got more results if we would have did more. And at the same time, I don't want to follow up and do sales calls for people. Could I? But I'd have to charge way more money, you know? So let's see. Let's go here. So yeah, again, baseline is generate more conversations on the traffic you have, and then let's turn on the faucet of paid ads. So before we get into the ads part now, and I mean, do you guys think it was important to kind of cover this first before we talked about how to get more? So any questions or big takeaways? Like, we can be interactive here. I mean, you have been, but I like even more interaction.
Yeah, the bots before AI got really popular were very, like, Amazon does not have the right. They go off a specific word and they have very limited, because they don't want you to go down a rabbit hole with them, right? It's either a yes or no thing. That's what the bots were before. This is, I mean, for that to respond even better than what you thought it was gonna respond with,
Yeah, wasn't staged.
that's like ridiculously crazy, amazing.
It's hooked up to ChatGPT. So ChatGPT is actually running Ashley. I basically prompted her on what I want her to do. And then ChatGPT, you know, basically it bounces back. And like, that's some high level developer stuff I couldn't even explain. Really? I didn't
Yeah.
even know about that. You're ahead of me.
So I did that just because I thought AI was gonna get super huge one day, and so, it paid off in that instance, but it does, I mean, it'll write, like, you can even tell it, write a 7-paragraph, ad for blah, blah.
You can actually come.
Yeah, it's crazy, guys. If you haven't just dove into, don't even, you don't even wanna go into it to look at it. Just dive into Google and ask what it can do. It's crazy.
And if we have some time, we can actually pull it up on the screen and mess around with some stuff, because I'm really good at writing ad copy, but in all honesty, it takes me about 30 minutes to get in the right headspace to write a good ad copy. And I wrote plenty of ad copy that sells, and then I got team members that do it now. So instead, I can literally program it once, and then like are you guys familiar with Aaron's and Rent-A-Center, those type of companies? I have a lot of clients in that space. So I have one chat that anytime I need a Facebook ad, I just say, hey, need a new ad, this is the offer. And it kind of keeps the same consistency and delivers something to me in seconds. And I usually don't have to change much. Then they're like, well, we want a follow-up sequence. So what I did is I had it write soap opera sequence. Anybody ever heard of that? So when I was growing up, my grandmother had me watching Guiding Light for some reason. I don't know why. But even as a kid, it was interesting. There's always all these high drama moments, right? So what I learned from a guy in the beginning of my marketing journey, this was, I think I took my tax money, bought this course before I could buy the next course. Yeah, took my tax money, bought this course. He had this thing called the soap opera sequence, and it was basically like you tell a story over a series of emails. So to give you an example, I don't watch football like that anymore, but I was really into it. I bought these jerseys from China because I was like, I'm going to buy these jerseys and I'm going to sell them. You know, they look pretty legit. But what happened was, let's just say the Redskins, or they're not the Redskins anymore, excuse me, the Commanders. So let's just say I ordered a Commander jersey. They mixed the Redskins and the Commander jersey together instead of giving me a Commander jersey. So it didn't work out. So then I had all these orders. Imagine all you in the room ordering. I had like this many orders, and they sent them to me, and I couldn't really give it to them. There was just 2 different jerseys combined together. Some of the string was coming loose. It was like, I'm not going to put my name. People weren't going to pay me. So I tried to send them back to China, and it cost me like hundreds of dollars to send it back. And then the package got lost, and then it came back to me. So I never got the jerseys replaced. So long story short, I told that message, that soap opera sequence over like 10 emails. And then I led it to an affiliate offer. This is how I made my first money online. I would get people to do that. They would give me their information. Had like one of the top videos on YouTube for cheap, authentic jerseys from China. It's a horrible video, but I was ranked #1 for a while. But I started making affiliate or the mailbox money just off of that. It wasn't a bunch, but it let me know that I didn't have to work hard in order to make my money. I just had to use my brain. Since I was 12, I've been running around Virginia Beach with my dad, 12 to 17, cutting grass. All I knew was hard work. And then that accident put me in a situation where I couldn't do it. So the soap opera sequence, using ChatGPT, if you start telling it some of your stories, it can write it. You can say, I want to write it in an allegorical style, or if you have a favorite author that you like, you can tell them, hey, this is the details of my story. Write it like, I'm gonna just say Robert Kiyosaki because I can't think of any fiction books. Write it like Robert Kiyosaki, right? So you can tell it to do anything. So I always have a style in mind of what I want it to do. So maybe we'll get into that. So real quick takeaways from AI, and I'm gonna speed through this. Speed to lead is king. I literally changed my whole LinkedIn thing a week ago. I'm like, forget talking about ads. Let's get this speed to lead thing done. And once I do that, automation and AI, you need it. And I honestly think it works better than people because people don't need to take bathroom breaks. I mean, AI doesn't need to. Our texting, as you all know, most people, they'd rather text than talk. It was the weirdest thing when that transition took place because I'm like, I just want to get on the phone and say what I need to say and get off. I'm not gonna hold you up. They're like, no, I'm not answering the phone, just text me. I'm like, so rude, but now it's just a thing, right? So you have to be willing to do that. Most people read their text within 4 minutes. I feel like it's damn near 10 out of 10. People, well, I guess it's this. The open rate for text messages, I say it's basically 100%. The thing when you send messages is your message good enough for someone to respond? Especially when you're following up. Like sales is a whole other thing. I've worked on 8-figure sales teams, and some of the most basic stuff that I've been drilled in over the years, a lot of people don't do. We don't have time to get into sales. But one thing I will tell you is don't say you're following up. Let them know, say, hey, I've been busy. I just had time to get back to you. What's going on? Versus I'm following up. Something simple as that. Response rate for texting is about 45%. I guess the other 55% is you're not saying anything that they don't want to hear. And eventually they get blinded to it. Like if you have so many calendar notifications on your phone, eventually you'll have things you have planned and you'll start skipping them, especially if it's not, like if I'm meeting with him, I'm not going to swipe that off. But if it's something for me to do for myself and I keep getting that and everything else, I'm gonna get rid of it. So you have to stand out in all your messaging. You can redirect all your social media paid ads and organic traffic to one chat box. No more lost leads across the internet. And one thing that's cool, as you saw, you can, if we're talking about using like AI, like Ashley, you can use certain words in your Instagram, Facebook, Google My Business, and it'll start a whole conversation, right? So if I was running an ad and you came in, she would have a different conversation. It would basically be around scheduling a call, but it would be a little bit different.
You have a and you will ask and you can actually respond to those people instead of.
And another thing too, is one thing that I do like, because a friend of mine built this, he built the system and then he allowed us to license it, kind of like ChatGPT. That's a good question. I haven't even tried her to email back yet. I'm pretty sure she could. No, it's fine. I like this because it gives me more to check on, right? But a friend of mine, he put this system together.
You know what I mean? Like,
it's definitely there. And then one thing I like about our system too, because we licensed it and then we built it in our own way, right? So I know other people have the system, but they did theirs differently. Some of them have the AI, some of them don't. What I like about my system is instead of sending all the messages at once, you can drip them out like an email. So let's say you have 500 contacts. Instead of sending all 500, send out 100 messages. If you're not getting any responses, you might want to change the message before it goes out to the other ones. So like with these Rent Center guys, I'm meeting with one of them today to because I just did a trial with him on just messaging. He had about 600 contacts that he couldn't get a hold of. We sent out messaging. I switched the messaging up a few times. He ended up, we spent maybe $50 in text messages, and he eventually made over $800 a month that he's going to have recurring for about 6 to 9 months, just off of $50 in text messages. And it was because if we would have dropped the whole list at once, we'd have been out back.
if nobody responds, does she automatically call again?
We can, yeah. See, it's a mix. It's a mix though. It's a mix of automation and AI because you don't. But yeah, it's a mix of both because if she doesn't respond, then I can have automation kick off, and then when they respond, she jumps in.
I saw a commercial where a guy did that and it was a FISBO call and it was like a British accent and this guy like went through all the same objections. Oh, I understand that.
Oh, that's the next level.
Yeah, and then I don't know if it was scripted, it looked authentic and he got her to the point.
It was probably straight up AI because there's a software called Air AI, and that may not be the only one. Yeah, Air. I'm familiar with that because the guy who, one of the creators, he was like a 12-year-old millionaire. And I got him to talk to my son because I'm like, son, you might want to get on this. You said Samantha has Ashley.
There's a girl named Samantha, or a lady in our office named Samantha. I guess she has Ashley as well.
Oh.
I think that's what she.
But yeah, the Air AI, it could literally do a sales call for you. So right now, I mean, that's probably what I'm going to do next for when I start running my new campaign. Instead of hiring sales guys, I'm gonna take a few calls, go through the process, and let the AI kind of do it for me. And then my buddy DJ here was telling me about one of his friends that has that set up as well. So that's the next level. But for like a lot of the people I work with, they can't necessarily do that. Like in rent to own, if you want to get something, first of all, it's not retail, so the price is always different. Then you have monthly, weekly, bi-weekly pricing. To have an AI do that, it's like next level programming that's just not there yet. So let's keep going. We talked about average cost per sale. You guys said about 50,000 for one person. Retention kind of doesn't apply to you all, but following up does. And obviously, if you can add some more sales, you guys know your numbers. You know, how much more in revenue would that be if you just capitalize on your existing traffic? Never mind what we're about to get into now. And I'm just gonna skip that slide, so I just want to get into it. So we're not opening this thing up like crazy because I want to make sure that it doesn't break. Like today was a great test. I was excited just to get to that slide. I just kind of wanted to go there anyway. But if you guys are interested, you guys already have the number. You already texted waitlist. So if anything, if you're interested in learning more about it, we don't want to spend a lot of time here. You can email me, or you can just say, hey, I want to learn more in the text to Ashley. And I don't know what she'll say, but I'll check the messages later. Right. And then the reason why it's only 20, actually, there's probably only 13 now because we, with those rent to own guys, I just spoke at this thing called Rent to Own World. It's like the biggest conference they have in the industry in San Antonio. And I went there and a lot of people reached out to me. Some of the people aren't really a good fit to do what I'm doing. And if people aren't a good fit, I let them know right away. I don't want to waste time, and I'm not into just taking people's money. If I don't feel like I can help you, then I'm going to take a step back and I'm going to point you in the direction of where you can get help. And that's why when I do these talks, I'll offer my course for free. It'll literally walk you through how to run. Not how to do all this stuff. I haven't made a course for that. I don't think I'm going to. But how to run ads, right? So let's get into that. You guys, I can switch. Good. All right. So this is what we're going to focus on right now. Because a lot of people are posting and doing organic. If you look at any of my social media, I am horrible at doing organic posts. And the reason is because I just run ads all the time, right? Technically, when you post organically, you got to put something up every day versus if I get a good video, like him and I did a really good video. I was surprised that it didn't get the traction I wanted to when we ran the ad. But if that video was kicking, I could just run it all the time to the people I want to get in front of and not have to worry about keep creating new things until I know it's about to die out and I need to make a switch. Now, organic is important, right? But I'm going to just give you a few things to take a look at here. Organic's a hope and pray. Obviously, it works. I want to kind of like crap on it all the way. It definitely does work. I'm just not good at it. Versus when you do paid, it's targeted sniper. Now, for realtors, this is a little bit different because technically anybody who's on your friends, on your personal can buy a house, right? But when you start getting into other businesses, technically they could be good too. But if you're hooked up to all your high school people, whether you're friends or not, if they weren't doing anything, they're probably not doing anything now. Are they really going to help you out if they're the ones getting your posts, right? So I like the paid ads because you can pick who you show to, and boosting's cool, but there's a next level to it. And like Captain Mortgage over here said, it could get a little confusing when you get in the ads manager, but I found a way to simplify it. All right, so not sure if you guys can see this. It was hard to try to put this on the screen, but when you run ads, a lot of this stuff doesn't show up in boost. So I'll go a little bit one by one. Parents, like matter of fact, if my boy Ryland's up here, we just ran an ad yesterday. I was showing him how to put something together. We started targeting parents who had kids, right? And it could be for whatever reason. Now, if we talk about it in the form of real estate, Thompson, do you have kids? How old are your kids?
26.
You don't look like you have kids that old. Take good care of yourself. All right, so, perfect. Thinking on the fly here. So 26 and 18, let's just say you're about to be an empty nester. Let's say you wanted to downsize. You would target people like that, right? especially for you, you already understand the situation. So you can literally target people who have kids between 18 and 26 and talk to that situation. How much stronger will your ads be versus showing up to everyone?
It's great, so there's sellers and buyers.
They are. Mhm. And then that's my next point. Stop telling well, in person, do what you do, but when you're running ads, buying is one thing, selling is another. Right? And it technically is in person too, because when I was 21, I bought my first house. You know, shout out to my mom. She set me up. She said, "Don't move out till you can buy your house." And I was like, "All right, mom." I did lose that house, but I didn't know what to expect. There's a lot going on, especially when you do a first-time home buyers. They don't understand. Technically, you're supposed to see him first, right? But a lot of times they'll see you and you this way. Then all the problems and situations and the fears that come up on buying your first house is totally different if I was selling a house. I've never sold a house. I have a second house now, but I've never sold a house. So it's a whole different conversation. But if you guys were talking to all the things that I went through when I first bought my house, then the value is coming from you all, and I'm more likely to pick you versus the person that said I can help you buy or sell.
They always talk about.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I went to a realtor first. Technically, they're supposed to go. I mean, they need to get pre-approved.
They will. We send them.
So
Unless my ads are working.
Then y'all are-
what you said there, because I did the same thing. I can't remember who was my realtor back then when I bought that house, but I went to the realtor first. Oh, yes. But even if you came on and I saw an ad that talked about how this is the process, you're supposed to meet with him. Guess what? I got a guy who's already done this with so many people. Just hit me up and I can introduce you to him so that way you don't have to sort it out. That could have made me feel so much better because I didn't know what was going on. I mean, that pack of paper they give you at the end is ridiculous. I mean, I was trying to read it, but I didn't know what I was reading to an extent, which even admitting that sounds horrible. I mean, but it was the truth. I was 21 years old and my parents didn't buy a house till they were after 40. I'm 21 buying one. So I didn't know what to expect. So if you talk more to the actual problem, so I want to draw this up there, it's audience, problem, solution. And a lot of times people always talk about the solution, but they don't dig deep enough into the problem. You got to dig deep into what's the conversation going on in their head. And that's why you can't say buy and sell. Because then same thing as a car dealership. There's plenty of car dealerships. Unless I have my mind on going to get a BMW, I'll go to that dealership. But if I'm looking for a car, I can help you sell your car. I can buy your car, I can sell your car, whatever. It's you just fall into what everybody else is saying. You got I am.
Okay.
Yep. Okay.
We
So,
got a question.
okay, I got you.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's other things that you can target too, right? But let's see. If we go back to organic, requires daily posting or posting as much as you do versus, like we said, create one good ad that keeps working. Now I am working on my organic reach. I had like a good week or two and I was pumped and then I went out of town last week. I did. That's just my thing. So I'm working on getting Ashley to be able to do that. Yeah, go on Midjourney, create those cool pictures and then post them there. So I'm working
The
on
only
it.
thing is, about that, we used to use this one, website, I forget the name of it.
Hootsuite?
No, there's a handful out there, but basically like you could like preload your, like we use Social Coach right now. My company pays for Social Coach for us, which basically just puts out, stagnant pictures. So like if you go on my LinkedIn, all the LinkedIn stuff up there is from Social Coach. But, and then now they can post the TikToks, but my thing is that it's not the videos, like the reels that are super popular. Like if you scroll on Instagram right now, it's all gonna be reels. It's gonna be not that many stagnant photos because they've gotten away from this. So, my point with that is just that there are things out there or software that you can pay for to auto post for you. But I've also heard, you might be able to say yes or no or be indifferent about it, that it doesn't matter. I've heard that if you use certain programs that the algorithm meta does not like these certain programs, so they don't give you the reach. As opposed to just like me doing it, or let's say you have an admin that's posting for you, that's an actual human being, that's not AI. So
It does weigh it differently. I don't know how, like, to get into that algorithm. I don't know how, but I've heard that. But even in Facebook, they have one where you can easily post to your Instagram and Facebook. You can schedule it.
Yeah, which is cool, which we already know. If you
Creator
use that,
Studio.
you're good to go, because
Yeah.
you're using their software to post the stuff for sure, which is great.
And I knew about it and still didn't do it. So I'm a work in progress. But I just gotta, I just run an ad. So yeah, when it comes to organic stuff, I'm not the guy. but it's kind of that by design, but I do need to get better at that, and I can admit that in front of anyone, right? But if we talk about this next level, one thing I really like, because I don't know, who's shooting video besides him? I know DJ does, you do? Man, you guys got the setup down the hall? I mean,
Hey, I will say one thing, I got my friend Jonathan, I will say this, I'm gonna call him out because, I don't know if they can hear me on the mic or not, but I don't mean to interrupt, but I wanted to say one thing about, I got my friend Jonathan came in, he's a great agent. And he, I'd say he started his journey probably about what, 3 months ago? And if you go back and look at his Facebook or Instagram, Jonathan Rhodes, and you get to see the evolution of his videos from when he started to where he's at now. His stuff looks like an actual like real maker, like he's doing it for years because he's done the things that I've kind of told him and coached him to do. In a sense, I didn't realize I was his coach until after he'd come up with these great videos. So I say that, and I'm here to help you all as well. And those of you that are on Zoom as well, feel free to reach out to me to help you get your videos to go from what Jonathan looked like three months ago to what he looks like today. And I mean, he's really taking
forward, a little bit of lights, do a lot.
Yeah, he's really, yes. Yeah, and they got a great podcast studio. I showed it to Jeraud earlier. It is a phenomenal. They spend a lot of time here to get that done. But my point is that it can happen that fast. And he did take the ball and ran with it, and now he's teaching me stuff. So that's why I love it, because I taught him that, and he's literally just taught me how to do it. So that's
yeah,
so it can be very quick and
he's really good at video. He's really good at video, but in all honesty, we all start off sucking at video in a lot of things. In all honesty, I still don't like the way I look on video, but there's nothing that's going to stop me from doing it. So just a quick hack for video, because I used to interview restaurants. Anybody ever heard of 757 Eats? That's my page, right? So I'm not that active, but I go out a lot of the times and I'll get people on video who are never on video. And sometimes it's the way I ask them questions. They're like, this isn't going to be live. I'm like, yeah, it's going to be live. And I guess they don't hear me. And then like, oh my gosh, I did a live video. But one thing that always helps people is you got to understand. I guess I should ask a question. Who literally lives in this office? Let's go there. Yeah, who lives here? Like literally you sleep here. I don't think you would allow it, right? So well, the point is everybody has left their house this morning, correct? Yeah. The moment you step out your door, you are on video, whether someone's recording you or not. Right? So if you're fine to be in this room and for me to see how you look right now, you're good enough to be on video. And once you start understanding that, it's really, it makes it simple, because then it's only just, you're just pressing a button and you're recording how you feel, but you guys have value. There's people like you for whatever reason, your family like you, your friends like you. I feel like I said this in the video that's on that video called Text Back. So you just have to show that light. The value is created after the experience. And this is just a quick script, because if I keep this short, the prop could be anything, a for sale sign, something in your hand. This is a prop, right? The environment, obviously, if you're selling homes and you're in a house, that kind of stands out, but you don't always have to be there. People undersell music, because music can change the tone. If I play Beyonce right now, an upbeat song, some of y'all are going to get up and dance, but if I play some scary movie song, you guys are going to be in suspense. So you can use both of those to your advantage. And then as far as what to say, it's pretty simple. Find a way to grab their attention as soon as they come on. Some people used to do this whole thing in front of the screen, but a big thing is the attention grabber one-liner is usually what problem do they face? And then after you tell them you can solve it and you make them an offer, call to action, that's when you tell them who you are. It's not, hey, my name is Jeraud, I'm a I'm a realtor in Virginia Beach, and I can help you buy and sell. By then, they're already gone. Exactly. So just doing this, right?
It's coming from behind and walking up to the room, wait for you to get there.
Movement is always great. So again, you guys have like, I haven't met too many brokers that are doing it like her, not here anyway. So if you didn't appreciate her, it's now, let's give her a round of applause. Like she's user, right? So again, biggest thing is stop saying your name first, because I don't care if no one else does. Tell them what you can do for them, and then tell them what. That is like an epidemic with everyone, but we didn't know any other way. On TV, Unless you
Ash
change.
just followed up with me again.
Feeling it.
Burning up that penny, man.
I didn't mean to interrupt. Sorry.
It's cool. Yeah, I mean, seriously, play with it, right? Play with it. I'm perfectly fine with that. But I'm gonna speed through this because we're running low on time here. So, a big thing on organic is when you do post, let's say you have 1,000 people who follow your page, which I'm pretty sure most of you might or might not have that. 1 to 5% see it. That's why you're gonna have thousands or tens of thousands. You see those pages and they have 1 or 2 likes. It's because Facebook is purposely limiting them because they want you to spend money to get in front of the people you know. All right. And the other part is you can get in front of thousands of people for very cheap. Yeah. And good job on your videos too. But you can target people for as little as $1 a day, right? So even when I didn't have money, I think I could have scrounged up $1. It's $30 a month to make sure I stay in front of people. So again, 757 Eats, how I got in front of so many people, I'd go, let's say I'm interviewing DJ at his restaurant. Interview him, I'm like, hey man, if I get you 1,000 views, will you give me 2 $25 gift cards? It's like, sure. If I didn't get it organically, I just turn on an ad and within $5, I had the 1,000 views. I come back, well, hey, got you those views, and then I give them away. It became too time consuming and I wasn't making any money and I decided I didn't want to work with restaurant owners either. So I kind of fell back on doing that before COVID. But the point is, I can get in front of a bunch of people. I can't outwork that dollar in networking, right? And for most of you all, and we're going to get here in a second, let's skip on that, is building know and like and trust in the community. So all 757 Eats is using that as an example is me building trust in the community, people getting to know me, like me, and trust me. So that way, if I refer somebody like, oh, I know this guy, I go out in the street sometimes and my wife's like, you know everyone. I don't know everyone, but everybody knows me. And it's actually pretty humbling. And it's not every time I go out. I'm not like a celebrity. I don't even want to be. But it's humbling when people come up to you and they know who you are and you don't know who they are. Because if you're a good person, then you're going to reciprocate that and you're going to show them some time. You don't know what that would mean to them. And as realtors, you want people coming up to you that you don't know who they are versus the other way around, right? So how are you doing that in community? And this is, matter of fact, I think she could be the, because I've been telling realtors this for a while. I feel like you should be doing what I'm doing with 757 Eats, whether you have the time or not. It doesn't have to be food, but interviewing local businesses. Because when I interview you, if you have a restaurant, I'm tagging you and you're sharing it as well. Plus, if I put a few dollars behind it, now I've, what they call it, inception. I've incepted your audience and you have incepted mine, right? I think you have the personality, not saying no one else does. You have the personality and you have the will to do that. So whether it's interviewing food and you and I can go do a 757 Eats together, that would be cool. Because I know you're not scared to get on camera, but interviewing businesses, catching events, it doesn't have to be something so frequent, but then people start associating you with all the good stuff that's happening around here. And they're like, oh, what does she do? And you can always drop something. On Facebook, we're close to 4K, and on Instagram, it's a little over 1,100.
Okay, so then I have 26,000 on Facebook. That's 30,000 because what's going to happen? We go together and we do this. We're putting it on 2 platforms, tagging each other, and now you're combining efforts.
Exactly. Exactly. And you're really consider. I think honestly, I could be a lot higher, but I'm just, again, even with 757 Eats, I had an employee doing that and she stole time from me, so she no longer works for me.
But it's all organic.
Yeah.
I mean, so that's, once you team up with somebody, it doesn't matter if you have 500 or 500, that you team up with someone, you might as well have his number than yours, because that's how that works.
And then when we're teamed up, like him and I did a video to do it, which was still cool because we were still, him and I are just cool. But it's different when we're out, like if we're out at a restaurant and we're just being regular people, people get to see you for who you are, right? Again, the value is created after the experience. If they can see how you are before they meet you, then it lets you know if they want to. I grew up an introvert, so even being in front of the room, it doesn't make me nervous. I had to figure out how to do those things. But, even if you're an introvert, if people get to know who you are beforehand, it just helps you out that much more. Because I've always sat back and observed people. So I already knew. Like if I was here long enough, I'd know who in this room I'd want to talk to, and who I would. I can't tell right now because everybody's cool, but I would always operate in that fashion, right? So when you find a way to get in front of these people, using something like what we're talking about, it just makes it that much easier. And again, it's humbling. And if you're not humbled by it, then that means there's something wrong with you. All right. So real quick, how do you speed up the know, like, trust process? This is the last slide. It's really, again, going back to audience, problem, solution. You guys don't like this one? put in there specifically for y'all? Okay. Oh, well, I did not do that. I should have had Midjourney do that. But yeah, audience problem solution. And again, like we said with her and the kids, if you have something that you can connect with people on, then it's easier than to just run a straight ad to everyone. Right? So like I have a 18-month-year-old. So if I wanted to get more business from people who had 18-month-year-olds, I could target them and I can talk to the problems they're facing and how they want to spend more time with their kid, but they're not able to because they're always at work, but then they're not making enough money, and how we can bridge the gap so they can make more money and spend more time and people. So then now if I got my daughter with me, which she gets paid, I have their attention, whether they use me or not, at the very least, I'm talking to them specifically. All right. But yeah, it's really just video, right? So again, I'm not gonna harp on this. I want to show you guys an ad real quick before we roll out. But at the end of the day, you have someone who's doing this stuff, just do it. Just do it.
Like gimbals and podcast equipment and wireless microphone, we got it all back there. If you guys want to use it, just schedule with me. I'll even show you how to do it. We have a high pro camera as well. That's back there. You guys are all welcome to use it. I even told him he can use whatever he wants in our studio. So you can even take it with you once he tries to use it.
Yeah, like honestly, there's not a lot of business around here who have that set up unless that's the business they're in. So again, one more round of applause. All right, so real quick, we can try to create an ad and then we can get out of here. Let's see, I think, oh. Yeah, let's create an ad together. And I'm gonna show you that, but this was like the last slide. I'm gonna actually set it up where I'm gonna have master marketing systems to the point where you can run ads straight out of there and not even have to mess with Facebook. So that's the next iteration that's coming. So escape. Huh.
Make it go down a little bit.
Oh, stop share? No.
They can't see you.
Oh, no.
Let me see real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I just want to say thank
So
you
we
again to
got-
Gerard. The one thing that I really
Yeah,
liked
just
about
escape.
him is, you
So,
know,
and
he is
then,
we consider him like a Hall's piper like myself. We started from the bottom and look
Okay.
where we're at now. We can all agree
Right
that
here.
marketing drives business. That's the
Yeah,
biggest
they can see
thing.
it.
We all have
And
heard of Michael and
then-
Son and all these other different jingles because they do a lot of marketing, right?
Yeah, I
All
just
the
wanna
people
make sure it's
with the
still-
ads on the billboards
Yeah,
and the
they can still see
radio
it.
and the
Okay.
TV. You've heard of
I
all
just
these
wanna make
people
sure I didn't
because
put
they're
anything in.
very
There you
consistent.
go. Let me
And
make sure they
marketing,
can
marketing
see.
drives business. I say
Yeah,
that
they
and
can see
that
it.
we are a very small business, right? So it's hard for us to put billboards and do radio and all the things. So this is just a way for us to get a small snapshot of the market. And then as we grow, we can invest more money in marketing, and then you'll gain more market share, because that's really the name of the game, is to gain market share. He did mention something about coaching. Coaching is super important. I personally have 2 mortgage coaches. So I would challenge you, if you do not have a mortgage coach or not a mortgage coach, but a real estate coach or a business coach. I know there's some people on that are not in real estate. Invest in it. I can't tell you how much your budget is, because you know how much your budget is, but coaches will help you stay accountable and give you more ideas to do things like Jeraud has. And Jeraud is actually a marketing.
Oh, I'm a consultant. Yeah, I forgot about that part.
He's a marketing consultant. I would be super remiss to have him come out here and spend his time, an hour and a half, 2 hours of his day to come and teach us, different things. He is for hire. He is amazing. And I've met with him a handful of times, and he just to do my Facebook ad, he showed me a couple additional things that I was not doing to help gain more traction for certain, what do you call it? Just
More reach, more
more reach
impressions.
for the people that I'm
More
trying to
data.
get in front of. So for this one, I did real estate agents, realtors, small businesses, entrepreneurs, all these list of 10 things or 15 or 20 things to try and get the reach when I did the paid advertisement. So just keep that in mind. He is for hire. If you're interested in his hire, he's got his number up there. So thank you so much again, Drew.
Appreciate that. And again, if you just want the course, that's fine too. My thing is what's best for you. And sometimes I'm not best for people for whatever reason. I always try to point you in the right direction. So yeah, who doesn't? That's why you guys are here. You want to get paid. I do too. But my whole thing is people first. What do you need? Is it me? No? Cool. All right. So, oh yeah, coaching, like you said, is super important. I mean, I think I told him I literally just dropped 20K on a coach about 2 weeks ago. to help me dial in Ashley in the AI. So without that coach, that wouldn't have worked as great as it did. So it's paying dividends already, right? So whether it's me or something else, get coaching. And then you have a coach in-house. Okay, so now we're just gonna go ahead and go through a quick run through on an ad. So let's see. I don't think I can pull it up. Here, hold on. Oh, my bad. Let's see. Yeah, thank you, sir. Yeah, we don't want to lose people because of that. All right, so
Any
let's do
requests?
this business, Facebook.
Business.facebook.com.
Yeah, so this is because most of the time people are running out of the boost. Yeah. Oh, got it now. I just needed to type something. Let's get rid of this. Most of the time people are running out of boosting post, and boosting post is like the easy button. And it, this can get a little overwhelming. And at the same time, my job is to keep it super simple and show you that it doesn't have to be. So this is the last part of the training. We're going to create an ad from scratch. All right. So we kind of got to be on the grants on some things. So for this ad, do you want to send people to a website, or would you rather capture their information so you can reach out? Show of hands for capture information. Okay. Sounds good to me. So we're going to go with leads. So this is what I was saying to Jonathan is Facebook has what we call a landing page lead form built into Facebook, right? Where you don't have to, like, I'll build a funnel. I hate doing that, but I'll have my team build a funnel. But sometimes it's just easier to get an ad up quicker is just to let people give you their information on Facebook. All right, so just a real quick lesson on this. So there's 3 different levels here. I'm trying to get this out the way. There's a campaign level, which we're on. This next level is ad set, and this is ad. So if we think about a billboard, let's say that this thing behind Thomasine is a billboard. And let's say the people who are driving by can see it. The first thing is, what is our offer? That's what we name our campaign. So in this case, are we going after buyers? We're going after sellers. And if, which one? Sellers, okay. Sellers campaign. And if we're being a little more specific, are we dealing with these empty nesters? Right? That doesn't even look right. It's supposed to be ER, isn't it? Ashley would have got me. She would have got me straight. All right, so that's the first thing. One thing you can do is you can run because what happens is on the ad set level, that's where we start actually focusing on. So again, all these cars are going down the street. Let's say that we wanted to focus on the parents, right? That have kids between 18 and 26. What happens is all the cars on the street magically disappear except for those ones, right? So that's one test. And then another test is I could just market everyone in the area. So if I'm running more than one test, I don't like to have this button on because if I wanted to test the parents versus everyone else, Facebook will decide for me and they don't always decide right. Now, some people say, let it do it. I like to have full control of my stuff. And then when I know it's working, I'll let Facebook take more control. All right, so this is it for the campaign level. Now we're going to go to the ad set level. And here, ignore that. I usually don't name it until I'm done, but I do know what we're going to do. We're going to do parents 18 through 26. And I know you can do everywhere, but we're going to just focus on VB. All right. So let's scroll down. We're going to go with an instant form. I probably won't create the form on here because that's kind of like semantics, but long story short, you can take people's information. And I can't remember the young lady who was sitting there. She said that she's getting information, but she don't know where it is. And it's because there's another piece of automation that needs to happen to send it to her. Otherwise, she has to go in here and check every 5 minutes, which is not efficient. That's one of the first things I learned. If you get a lead, we'll send you an email and a text right away saying, hey, you got this. All right. Your daily budget. A real quick rundown on that. Some people aren't in a position to spend $20 a day. Like I said, you can go as low as $1, right? $1 is not going to get you in front of a lot of people, but it'll do more. In front of how many people? I would say 5 to 10.
I think, did you tell me, or did somebody else tell me to do, not whole numbers? Like, instead of doing $5, do like 501?
No, I haven't heard of
I
that.
know, there may,
Did you do a test?
I did not, because they just told me it's like a day or 2 ago, so there may not be any validity to it, but hey, it doesn't hurt.
Yeah, it's weird because even when you want to raise your ad spend, like the guy that I told you I'm working with in San Diego, he's spending 600 a week. And right now it's like if I raise his ad spend, because we're getting leads for his webinar at like $12 a piece. If we raise the ad spend, you only want to do it by 20%. And it's like not a written rule, but it's an unwritten rule that if you don't know, you don't know. Because if you raise it too much, it throws it out of whack. But I wouldn't be surprised if there was something to what he's saying. Like there's all,
I mean, it's always something.
yeah. So we put it at $1, but let's just go to 5. We're almost
You
done here.
press send,
But what I'm gonna, like I said, he was telling me about a system he saw, and like I said, my system's gonna be where I can eliminate most of this. But when you go through this, in all honesty, it looks like a lot, but as you notice, I'm not pressing everything. I'm literally just pressing a few things. So, okay, so is there a neighborhood that you want to specifically focus on that you think will have those kids that can, Red Mill? So give me an address. Oh, matter of fact, Mill, Red Mill. It's 2 separate words. Oh, AJ Gators and Red Mill is in Red Mill though, right? There's a AJ Gators over here. All right, so we can just go with that place. That's close enough. All right, so 1 mile. Oh, we're not gonna go 1 mile, so we'll go 10 miles. 10 miles from AJ Gators. All right. And then so what's the age group? Well, technically, when you're doing real estate, a lot of times it has to say 18 to 65, which sucks because it's called special category. But let's say that we could change it. What would be the ideal age group? 45 to 65. So now there's 141,000 people within 10-mile radius who fit that description. We can go all genders. Sometimes I like to target mainly women. Like a lot of times when I do a lot of campaigns, we target women because guys tend to ignore a lot of things, as you all know, right? So, but for this case, we'll just leave it as both. And then here's where I can put in parents. So let me remove this. So I'm in detailed targeting. So you can do all, or you can pick the age group. So for this campaign, we're going to pick the age group. All right. So that knocks it down to 9,800 to 11,500. But again, this is only us targeting Red Mill. It's very specific. Exactly. And we could easily add more areas. The one downside sometimes of doing local, because in the scheme of things, this isn't really a big place. Like Virginia Beach is like I think it's top 50, which I was surprised. And at the same time, like compared to some of the places where I run ads, like there would be, tens of thousands of people here, right? Yeah, the ad has all that stuff here. So something as simple as this. I'm gonna see what video she has here. For some reason you're.
I appreciate y'all sneaking this out, because this is like, all the stuff that you talk about is very important, but this is like actually putting it into action.
We're just gonna, this isn't gonna go live. We're just picking a video here. So now we have a video. Oh my gosh. It says it's not valid. That's fine. We'll pretend like it is. Yep. So what we'll do now is primary text. So essentially when you guys write I would say a post, it's technically called primary text, right? So now this is where we could go to ChatGPT, which you have this on your computer, right? This one? Oh, the computer? Okay.
Put your app. Put your app.
I know, did you use it?
This guy's in the way here. No.
Should be recorded too, so.
Yeah, we're literally like less than 5 minutes from done.
Awesome, thank you.
Have a good one. Thanks for coming. I like that purple thing. I don't remember the name of that thing he has. What do you guys call that? Yeah, the pocket square. Yeah, it's pretty fresh. Look like crushed velvet.
Yeah, have to allow, it's a new computer. 541. Yeah, that's why I said I didn't know if it was going to, but we can do it fast. It's okay. Should be good.
All right. Yes, we are good. Okay, let's go. So now we're gonna do a quick chat here. You don't have 4, that's cool. So I'm gonna actually. You don't. If you have any requests or songs you like to sing while I do this, go ahead. All right, so act as if you're. Director for Coastal Town Realty. We need to create a Facebook ad that will target empty nesters with children between the ages of 18 and 26. And this isn't going to be any advanced prompting, 18 and 26 in Virginia Beach. We want to help them with their downsizing needs. So on my, I actually have the app, and I have to start targeting doing long, it's easier to talk to the app and do it. So now we have that. Let's see what it says. Get this out the way. Oh wow, it's lightning fast. Couldn't even read it as it was going down. So this is the ad, and obviously we can make adjustments to it. Are your kids all grown up and out of the house? It's time for a new chapter in life. Oh, let me do that. So here's what we got. Are your kids all grown up and out of the house? It's time for a new chapter in life. Are you an empty nester in Virginia Beach looking to downsize? Coastal Town Realty is here to make the transition smooth and stress-free. So you see how they called them out with their kids being grown. One thing I would add is I would probably put Virginia Beach in the front. But they're talking about the problem, and then they offer the solution. Then they talk about all the reasons and the things that they can do. So granted, I'd probably still trim this down a little bit, but you see how fast you can come up with some ad copy, right? Now, oh, this is the fun part. Someone give me the name of their favorite actor. Ryan Reynolds, I like him. He's funny. Thanks, comma, right in the style of Ryan Reynolds. Reynolds, right? What's your favorite movie? Deadpool? No? Okay. It says. Did that sound like him?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So essentially, like, I would just keep writing it. Like, there's a guy named Alex Ramosi. So this is another bomb for you guys. Like, it's like I'm promoting him everywhere I go, but he does good stuff. He has a book called $100 Million Offers. He's really big on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube. But he just started building his audience not too long ago. So he has a way of cutting through the noise and saying things to people in such a way. So a lot of times for my clients, I'll say, write in the style of Alex Ramosi, and it'll say stuff like, because I've read his book a bunch of times, like him. And then I'll tweak it a little bit, because a lot of times it's a little bit outside of the client. So essentially, we're just going to take one of these. Let's just say it's right. We're not going to go into all the editing and stuff like that right now. Oh, I hope I didn't click the wrong one. Ooh, good job. Then it's in there. That's your ad copy. And then last but not least, it's a headline. So are you, and I could ask ChatGPT to come up with this, an empty nester. And the reason why the headline is important, because I know we can't see the video over here, but when you see an ad on Facebook, the first thing they see is the picture of the video. That's what stops the scroll. Then the next thing they see is this headline. Then after they see the headline, they go up and read the post. That's how most people see things on there. And a lot of times people forget the headline, just start doing up here. This is really, I'm gonna change this real quick because I really need you guys to see this and then we're done here. See, I'm gonna just put a picture up there. Right. Oh, here we go. All right, so here. So again, they see this, then they see this. Yeah. Anything you post to Facebook is live. But then what we call this is see more is a trap door. So if they see this and they see this and they keep reading, if they don't click this button, there's metrics in the back of Facebook that let me know that they're not going further. So if they're not going further, that means I need to make some changes here. Right? So basically the numbers are same thing with you on real estate. The numbers make sense. They can either sell their house for what they say they can or they can't. It's the same principle in the back of Facebook that'll let us know if this isn't working, we do this. If the video is not getting watched, then that means that something in the first 3 seconds is a disconnect. So let's reshoot the video and do something different. And a lot of times what I'll do too, if people only want to use pictures, which I say you got to use video, I'll take this picture we have here and turn it into a video 15 seconds long. So even though it's a still image, it records as a video because the next coolest thing is if someone watches this or clicks on this, I can show back up to them. And I can say, hey, you saw our video about empty nesters. I know you watched the video and or you clicked whatever my messaging is. Like, why don't you take some action? Because if someone makes it to 15 seconds, that means they were either they fell asleep at the wheel or they were interested. And most of the time there was some interest and they just didn't finish it. So why not show up? And that's the beauty of it, that if you spend $1 a day staying in front of people who already know who you are, and then $1 a day getting in front of new people, that $1 a day in front of the people who already know who you are goes so much further. So there's like a chiropractor I see on Bird Neck, and I was doing her marketing and she wouldn't spend much. So at one point she was getting in front of 1,000 people every time she spent 17 cents. And it was just people who knew she was. And people come in and say, yeah, we've been seeing your stuff. She don't post either. And they're like, where? It's that dollar that's working for it. Then we had another dollar bringing in new folks, so that audience kept growing. So that's pretty much it. And literally we would just hit publish and we'd be off the races. Yeah, so yep, right here, name, email, phone number, street address. And I would say for you just looking at this, I mean, obviously you want more information than not, but a lot of times the more information you ask for, the less likely, which could be a good filtering, but I'd rather get too many leads and filter them out versus the other way around. Yeah, so I usually go name, email, phone number. Yeah. Exactly, exactly. But I mean, they'll give you the phone number before they give you their address. Yeah. Yeah, it all goes in order. So, and then at that point, once, Ashley, like I could program Ashley once we have this, as soon as this lead drops in for her to start trying to get more information out of them. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. I mean, there's more rabbit holes we can go down, but placing an ad is that easy. And I know from the look of it, there's a lot going on the screen, but if I ran you through this 2 or 3 times, or like my course, like I said, anybody wants the course, just message me. The course walks you through all this in greater detail, more explanation. And then once you do that a few times, you're like, oh, this is easy. I don't need to mess with any of this. Just do this. And if it works, cool. And if it doesn't work, this is what you do.
So it's like for me, I do
These are good for those.
But so if I'm trying to just do myself, how long do you recommend? Like the $1 a day? I'm in for that. I can do that. That's good. How long do I run the same app?
That's where you have to look at the metrics, right? So like, let's say it's a video. If people aren't watching the video, in the course, I'll walk you through how to discern whether they're watching it or not. If they're not watching it, then you want to switch it. So I would say, if you're only spending $1, honestly, once a week, you check it. Because let's say that it took you $20 to get a lead. If you're only spending $1 a day, that's 20 days. But if you spent $20 in one day, then you can have the information you need. So the less you spend, the longer it takes for you to make decisions. But at the same time, it's better to spend less than to spend nothing at all.
So once they sign up, where is this information going to?
Long story short, it goes into somewhere in the back of Facebook. Where was it? Oh, no, is that it? No, there's a settings wheel down here. Yeah, honestly, I don't even know where to find it and find it fast. So what I normally do, and I think I walk you through that in the course, there's a tool called Zapier. And what I do is I literally have Facebook connected to it and it sends the information. Because a lot of times when I'm running this for people, if they don't have that set up, what typically happens
Steal your thing for a
is,
second. Go ahead.
they have leads, but they don't get to them fast because one, they gotta log in. So technically inside the ads manager, once you have a lead, you can click on it.
Here's your
and
clients right
it'll be a
here underneath of
CSV.
your audiences. If you build it right, you have clients and different things. Yep.
Yeah.
So it'll all go in.
Yeah, so, but again, it's not gonna help you with your speed to lead.
Sorry.
Oh, no problem. Any other questions?
How much is that here?
I have that here, but I don't know if.
Maybe you don't have it set up.
It's just maybe like 20.
Like 25, or like if you had
Specifics.
if you had like an office one, it could be $50 a month and it got unlimited sound.
One thing, so like, my technically, I have it studying, the weather every single day, and it's still going.
They won't downgrade you.
Oh.
I like that. I wish I'd known that when I started, because that $25 was heavy.
Right.
Yeah,
When you're tight.
tight, you're tight.
Yeah.
So real quick, unless there are other questions, I just want to roll through takeaways. What are your biggest takeaway from today? You, sir.
I'm just really absorbing it all right now, because I don't do much of anything. Marion,
I really wanna do the Facebook, I mean, if you're spending so much money and you do it for long enough, you're going to make it, and just being consistent with that.
Yeah.
So that's my biggest.
And honestly, like she was saying about the $1 a day, it's almost like a set and forget. Because it's weird, and I'm not saying you all do this, but like with market, like people will used to hire me and be like, you spent thousands on the radio and didn't see anything, and you only spent $100 with me, and you're like, where's it at? And I'm like, it takes time. It happened right away. I've hit home runs like right out the gate, but it doesn't always happen that way.